Mahopac Community, Thursday, March 25th, 2021. This is our regular meeting. It's our regular meeting for March. Welcome, one and all. I appreciate everybody doing the right thing, staying safe. We are getting closer and closer to in person. What I would like to do right now is I would like to make a motion to open the meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Tanner. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Ben. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And could we now please stand and join me to stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you very much. And again, welcome to our Mahopac community. What I'd like to do right now is just a quick mention that our illustrious superintendent of schools, Mr. Anthony DiCarlo, is doing very well and is expected back before the end of April. So that's good news on all fronts. He's he's doing terrific, and he appreciates all our everybody's thoughts, and and we'll certainly look forward to welcoming him back in a few weeks. With that said, we have our acting superintendent of schools, who really jumped into this one, kind of a fray here, and is doing a wonderful job. Our acting superintendent, Mr. Frank Mealy, and I know Frank wants to jump on right now. He's got a couple of things he'd like to say about some CDC guidelines. Frank, take it away.
Thank you, President Mongan. I'd just like to welcome the Mahopac community, our school board. As I've mentioned a number of times, I'm very excited about this opportunity to, who would have ever thought, Frank Mealy was going to lead a school district, especially one that he graduated from and that he loves and he's been involved with for over 50 years. It's a special community, and but to jump in during this time, I never thought I'd have that opportunity, but here I am, and I'm gonna definitely do the best job that I can. I'm surrounded by some excellent people, and the support of the school board and our district has been nothing but unbelievable, and I can't thank them enough. I'd like to wish Anthony DiCarlo a speedy recovery. I've said this before. I wish he would come back tomorrow and take over. But he has laid out a plan and a path that we're following, and it's going to lead to some outstanding things in the very near future. Right now we're getting ready for our in-person learning, which will happen on April 5th. I would just like to state that everyone has done an unbelievable job, from our board to our district administrators to our school administrators to our teachers. I have to commend our students for the excellent job that they're doing. I also have to, commend our parents for, listen, it's not an easy time. They've made more adjustments and they've been very flexible, and I'd like to think that they're very understanding as far as what we're trying to do, and I can't thank them enough. And so from somebody that, came from the outside and, jumped into something and had the opportunity to see what's being done, I have to say that I personally think the plan that we have in place is an outstanding plan, and I think it'll be awesome as we proceed. I do know that I think, I don't think our kids have taken any steps back. And to be honest with you, I'm hoping that our teachers, look forward and see all of the things that our students and staff and parents have learned, because I think we're all going to be better for what we've gone through in the last year. It might have been tough, but sometimes that leads to more excellent things, and our community is on its way to, I think, being the shining star of Lowell Hudson Valley. So I'm very impressed, and I really appreciate being in this position. So thank you. I also like to let everyone know There's always a lot of confusion. You look at the newspapers, they throw out the CDC throwing things out. We're not under the jurisdiction of the CDC. We're under the jurisdiction of the New York State Department of Health, as well as the Putnam County of Health. So, there's where the confusion lies, but we're doing everything that we're supposed to do, making sure our students are as safe and our staff is as safe as they can possibly be. And I think we've done a good job with that. But everyone needs to know this could change at any time. You hear some of the things are starting to, pick up again. I hope not. But we have things in place that, we think we can make some adjustments along the way. But please remember, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. We need everyone's help. We have the vacation week coming up. Please be very diligent as far as, wearing those masks, distancing, everything that you can do so we don't take a couple of steps back when we get started on April 5th. Next, I'd like to, state that we started our fall 2 season. Who would have ever thought that we have football and volleyball and cheerleading in the springtime, but we've had it. We're off to a great start. Our drama company did Charlotte's Web last week. It's on YouTube. You can follow it. I can't say enough about, our theater group, our music department. I mean, I can't wait to see our bands play, our chorus. We have such an outstanding school. These are all the things that everybody's waiting for. And so we're very excited as far as that. Also like to mention, if you heard, we had a bus accident this morning. Everyone is safe. No students were involved. It was one car came over into the left lane. It looked pretty bad. He was able to walk away from it, and they transported him to the hospital. Our bus driver is safe. He'll be back tomorrow. So a real tragedy was averted. But I can't thank our Leonore, our supervisor at the bus garage, Steve Troost, anybody that was involved bus-wise, the police, the fire department. I'm not really used to having these situations or seeing them, but I got to say they did an awesome job. They cleared up the scene as quickly as they could, and they did all of the things that that we're proud of, and we never want to be in that situation. So I just needed to mention that. But everybody was safe. So I'd like to pass it back to President Mongan.
And here we go. Oh boy, here we go. All right. Thank you very much, acting superintendent, Mr. Frank Mealy, and thank you again for all that you're doing. What I'd like to do right now is I'd like to introduce Chris Globitz from Tetra Tech. Chris is going to give us an update on I guess it's Chris, it's synthetic turf for tonight. It was an item that we were trying to get to for Tuesday night. And we have some information on that right now. Chris, am I correct on that? Do we have that information, Chris?
Chris is on yet.
Oh, is he on, Sandra?
I think he's connecting.
Okay.
He's coming. There we go.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think he queued you up. We're ready for
There
you.
he is. I hear Chris. There he is.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Chris. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Great.
So hi, Chris. Thank you for joining us tonight. We would like to talk about the turf contract that is on the resolution that's on the board agenda for tonight.
Great. I'm happy to.
Thank you.
So I'll just give a brief overview of the bids that were received. And are you looking for like a basis of the recommendation?
Yes, please.
Okay. So a brief note about the process. Some months ago, when we were discussing how to procure the synthetic turf fields for the capital project, we had discussions and based on Tetra Tech's and the Palumbo Group's recommendations, we invited 3 companies to come and present their products to a team that included representatives from Tetra Tech and the Palumbo Group and the district. That occurred, they gave their technical presentations, and recently we formalized the procurement of these packages with a request for proposals from Shaw, A-Turf, and Field Turf. These 3 companies, in the opinions of Tetra Tech and the Palumbo Group, all make great products, and we have worked with them on previous projects, so we have some experience with their quality. When we received those numbers, we performed, well, we had a discussion on Tuesday that some of you were present for, where we just analyzed the numbers and compared the numbers for the various products that were submitted, and were directed to make the award that we're presenting to you tonight. And that is to A-Turf. There were technically 2 contracts that we solicited bids for. One was for the field between the middle school and the high school, and the other was for the field to the north of the middle school. So we intend to wrap those together and award one contract. Any questions or comments, or would you like me to go into further detail?
Well, I just, Chris, we weren't able to, obviously we weren't able to chat it up on at the work session on Tuesday. Do any other board members have any questions for Chris on the selection process, or how they arrived at the decision to go with the A-Turf? Does anybody have any questions?
I do. What are the different options? Because I remember the last time we did the turf on the field, I remember there were quite a few different qualities, I think it was, of turf, and years of warranties, depending on which one we selected. I was just curious on the one that is being proposed tonight. Where is it scaled compared to all the different versions or options available?
So we requested numbers for 3 options from Shaw. We requested 2 options from A-Turf and Field Turf, specific to the different types of carpet, if you will. We use the term carpet to represent the synthetic grass because it's essentially built like a carpet. One of the options that we requested from Shaw was a bit of an outlier, from a technical standpoint. They're pushing the envelope a little bit more, and their pricing reflected that. So the other 2 options for Shaw aligned, in our opinion, from a technical standpoint, with the 2 options that we requested from A-Turf and from Field Turf. So when we look at the, we looked at the comparison between the bid numbers and discussed, we didn't get into a technical discussion. That happened, mostly during the interview process. But looked at the numbers and, looked at the higher of the 2 choices, the higher quality of the 2 choices, We structured the bids to be as equivalent as we could in terms of warranty period, technical properties, things of that nature.
Okay, so, and then so what we did, we came down, I guess it came down to the Vertex Prime, which filter Vertex Prime, and in the A turf, the Titan, those were two that came down to. And then there's what was the price difference, Chris, if you wouldn't mind, just, off the, I mean, I'm not going to hold you to it, but I know there was a number that was, that was somewhat significant. So if you wouldn't mind, just,
Sure. When you look at the combination of the high school field and the middle school field together, the A-Turf Titan RS50 was about $82,000 less than Field Turf's Vertex Prime FTVP-1. Those are the specifics. I should also add that we structured the bids such that we wanted to look at a few options that the district would have the choice of accepting, sort of like bid alternates, as we discussed in the other bids. So those included an underlayment pad. This is an additional layer, essentially, of padding that goes immediately beneath the carpet itself. There is some grooming equipment that we wanted included in there so that the district would have a greens groomer, which has a brush on it, and another type of groomer, sort of like a bit of a comb, and it has a magnet. So some basic equipment that the district can use for the more frequent maintenance that occurs and that you need to do on a field. We also asked for a price for a long-term maintenance contract. So this was for a 3-year period, and that includes what we kind of refer to as a deeper grooming. It's a little bit more technical. You need to know what you're doing, and so we tend to recommend to school districts that they not try to do that themselves, and that they hire a company who does that and who is trained specifically to be able to do that safely for the purposes of the turf, because you can tear turf and drag it and do certain things if you're not careful. We also requested a routine maintenance option, which is a bit like a unit price, if you're familiar with that kind of style of getting a bid. So just to get a number on the books for one visit, and that number of visits is as you request. And what is the price per visit? Just so that, when you get down the road and you need to request that, you have some basis for what that price is. We also asked for an option of providing a logo in the middle of the field, both for the high school and for the middle school, right? So to give it a little extra. So the base bid is just the line striping. So there were various types of fields striped on both of these, and they vary a little bit from one another, but include generally football, soccer, men's lacrosse, women's lacrosse, field hockey. And in the case of the larger field, which is between the middle school and the high school, it also has some softball and baseball striping so that you can use that for practices. So that was the base. And then the ad would be a logo in the middle, and we used the capital M with the arrowhead as the example for the contractors to bid. Then we also did a similar option for graphics in the end zone, and we used the text Mahopac for the basis of that. So that would just be on the larger field. That is the one between the middle school and the high school. The one to the north of the middle school is a smaller field, and so we didn't think that would be as appropriate to have such a logo there. And yeah, that's it. So the bids came in a good in a good place relative to the estimates that the construction manager had put in place as we were structuring the project. So the decision, that was made as a group was to accept all of those options and move forward with the award.
Okay. Okay. Any board members, any questions for Chris on the process or anything on the turf? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
But just again, not having had this the other night at the work session, was this thrown in later? Did we miss it? I hate to see something thrown in on the night of a meeting and that we really haven't discussed. Just again,
Yeah, that's why, Mike, that's why.
I'm a little at a loss here, that's all.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
take that question. Thank you.
Go ahead.
So,
That's nice.
those bids came in a couple of days later. The RFP was due later than the original bid days for everything else. So that's why that one wasn't ready with the original set of bids. We needed a few more days to go through that. We had the meeting just on Tuesday to finalize it. And with the manufacturer lead times that seem to be happening now during this pandemic, we wanted to make sure that we could get those contracts put together in an efficient time manner so that we're able to move forward and products are able to get ordered, and hopefully the products will not hold us up.
I'll also chime in too. We did meet on Tuesday. We had a pretty good group there. The AD was there, Frank, Mike Mongan, myself, as well as the Palumbo group and Chris and his crew. So we did vet it pretty good, Mike. We spent a good bunch of time going through a lot of numbers and sorting out a lot of options. So it did get a really good look over. I know the board didn't get into the details of it.
Well,
And I'm having a blackout right now, so I hope I don't lose you. But yeah, so we spent some time. We did spend a little bit of time on it.
well, that's why I really wanted to, have an opportunity. I mean, I listen, I don't have a problem, Mike. I don't have a problem if we want to, I know there is some time sensitivity, so I don't have a problem if we want to, if we want to go over it, if you want to just have another night and do a little deeper dive in that, but it's got to be in the next, it'd have to be within the next, a couple of days, I would think. If you'd like to do it that way. I mean, it's turf. So
No, I'm a little more comfortable now that I hear the players and everybody's there. Again, I didn't know any of this. It's, first time hearing it, first blush gives me a
Okay.
little thought of, okay,
it's fine, Mike.
need a
It's
little
fine.
more information,
So then-
that's all.
So what we'll do is, let's pull it from tonight's agenda. But what I'd like to do then is I'd like to, before we get off to, later on tonight, I know we have a little executive just after this, but let's pin down a day or two that everybody feels good, and we'll jump on it and really do a little bit more of a deeper dive so everybody feels comfortable with that. Does that sound good?
Can I just say something? If we're going to do that, can we have the same information that was sent on the items that we reviewed on Tuesday night? Because we had like extensive information as far as the bids, who were the players, why a certain version was picked. We didn't get any of that for this evening's for the turf.
Good point. Okay, not a problem. All right, so then let's do that, and we'll and then an executive. We can get a. Well, let's everybody check your calendars and see if we can get a quick date together. Would that be okay? That sounds fair.
Sure, I
Right.
just have,
They're
Mike,
not
I
gonna-
just have one question.
Sure, Ray.
I understand there's a package that comes with this, a 3-year warranty. Are they going to give expensive training to our guys how to maintain these fields? And that come along with this?
That's
every
included.
3
That's included in it. That's
Perfect.
included. Yep.
Perfect.
And what
That
I
is-
think it's important for everyone to know is that we met with each one of these vendors ahead of time. And it wasn't, we had board member participation at that meeting, administration, Colombo
Yeah, but-
Group and Tetra Tech. We met with all of them first. The reason that we went and ahead with an RFP is so that they could sharpen their pencils and come back with better numbers. So all of that was done. And then once we received the RFPs, we did have that meeting. And again, if we're going to delay it at all, we need, please just do it as quick as possible. I do
I
not
agree.
want to see the field going late because we ordered and we delayed.
It won't go. We'll make sure that we done quick. Go ahead.
Just one quick question, Chris, everything we're looking for, everything that we desire was put into this bid and it was within budget. Is that
And
what
this bid was under budget, and the
Great.
difference between the two was about $82,000. So the difference
Terrific.
between the two vendors is about $82,000, and we are able to accept all of the alternates and everything that we wanted to do.
Terrific.
All right. So, okay, but that's fine. So,
Could I make one more comment? I would have to verify if this is true for synthetic turf, but I know some other commodities increase their prices on April 1st, and that, you know, contractors are allowed to, you know, modify bids. So just
okay. Thanks,
wouldn't
Chris.
want to, you know,
No, I understood. Good.
not say
Okay.
that. So,
All
thanks.
right. Very good. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, Lucy, we'll get that information to all the board members, so everybody has the same information. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Chris, thank you again as well for all the work that you do and the Palumbo Group and Tetra Tech. You know, guys are really working hard for us, and it's appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Got it. Okay, so let's slide over to we'll slide down to communications. We have comments on agenda items only. There were no comments on the present agenda items, and so I'd like to do right now is head down to let's go through our we have some reports to accept. Can everybody hear me? Okay. So we have the treasurer's. Just trying to. How many papers all over? Okay, here we go. So could we please, let's see. So treasurer's report for January 2021. Can I get a motion to accept that treasurer's report for January 2021?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Larry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Thank you. How about the warrants for January 2021? Can I have a motion to accept the warrants, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Ray. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Adam. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you, Michael. Opposed? Okay. All right. Revenue status January 2021. Can I have a motion to accept the revenue status for January 2021?
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Second. Thank you, Ben. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Budget transfer for January 2021. A motion to accept, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Adam. Second, please.
Second.
Second.
Lucy and Mike simultaneously. Good job. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Work session minutes of February 23rd, 2021. A motion to accept, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Ben. Second, please. I think I heard Lucy second. That was Lucy. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you, Larry. Opposed? None. Okay.
Can I abstain?
Excuse me, from the
No,
work.
yeah, I'm going to abstain because I don't have access to them and I wasn't able to review them, so I'll just abstain.
The work
if I
session
may.
minutes, Tanner?
Yeah, if I may.
Okay, yeah, okay, thank you. Duly noted. Melody, could you?
I can PDF them to you.
Yeah, if you
Thank you.
could, I'll review them
Good to have
afterwards.
them.
Thank you so much, Melody.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So, okay, and then now our regular. Yes, Larry. Okay, our regular Board of Education meeting minutes of February 25th, 2021. A motion to accept, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Larry. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Ray. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
I'll abstain
Guys.
for this one too.
Okay, Tanner, we got
Thank
you
you.
on that one.
Thank you, President Mongan.
Just make a note of that, Melody. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Have a note. Thank you. Okay, so I think our acting superintendent Frank Mealy gave a pretty detailed report, but I'll throw it to him really quick if you wanted to add anything that he might have missed early on. Frank, did you add anything on your superintendent report?
Well, if you give me the mic, I have to add something. I need to figure out how to balance. I didn't know I was going to have to speak twice, but I need to try to balance whatever I say out a little bit. But I do have a couple of final comments. First, I want to get back to the community being very diligent as far as the next few weeks and really for the rest of the school year, so that we can get back to doing the things that we want. That was number one. We're definitely looking forward to our students coming back on April 5th. Everyone is excited. I can't wait for that first day when, we see our kids coming into that building. Next, the district clerk has placed board member candidate information on her page. Under Melody LaRocca, and any information will be included on that message. And then last, prior to the board meeting tonight, we had a question and answer. We answered probably almost 30 questions from the community that they sent in. We thought it was a good session. Hopefully we answered all of the questions that people wanted. Sometimes they hear the things that they want. Sometimes they might hear things that they might not like, but as long as we're doing it in the best possible way and keeping our kids' safety at heart, I think we're doing the right thing. So that question and answer will be on YouTube as well as on our cable channel, and it'll involve in-person instruction, which starts on April 5th and continues for those next couple of weeks. And then lastly, once again, I'd just like to thank the board for the confidence that they put in me. And, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm working hard, and you've given me an outstanding staff, and the guidance from the school board has been outstanding. I can't say enough about the 4 assistant superintendents and our administration and our staff. I keep saying it every day because the things they've been through and our parents and students has been amazing. And so I'm so thrilled and so excited about being part of the group. And so once again, I'd like to say thank you. I'd like to pass it back to President Mongan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, acting superintendent of schools, Mr. Mealy. Thanks. I appreciate all the hard work again. Just keep up the good work. You're doing a terrific job. And I can tell you that the board and the leadership team and the community appreciate you helping out at this critical time. Thank you.
It's my honor. My honor.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, so we have some committee reports. The committees have been extremely busy as always. So I'd like to run right into transportation. Adam Savino.
Okay.
Mr. Vice President.
I do not have transportation ready at this time.
Okay.
I have technology.
Okay, yes, jump over to technology, Adam.
So the technology committee met on March 16th. That's 6:05. I'm sorry, it wasn't March 16th. It was actually this week, 8:05. Present were myself, Dr. Stoll, and Mike Trombley. We discussed the status of the Chromebook deployment for 5th and 9th graders, which is on target. Everybody should have seen the updates The students will be getting when they come back to school as they return, starting with the ninth graders. We discussed the bandwidth increase that's going to take place in the school building, in the buildings from 1 gig to 3 gigs, which will alleviate some of the traffic and assist with the network usage when all the students are back in. We discussed the status of the Smart Schools Bond Act with a projected start date of June of 2021. And we ended up discussing the district data privacy officer, which is Mr. Mike Trombley. We adjourned at 18:30, and that is the report for technology. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. And thanks again for all that you do for our board and the community. Ben, finance, I know do we have a little something for finance? We're going to meet next week, right?
The 7th.
Yeah, we're meeting on the 7th. So
Yeah, so I'll just do real quick tease for the rest of the year. So we did have budget meetings on the 4th of March, the 11th, and the 18th. The next one is April 8th and 16th. On the 22nd of April, we're going to have a budget adoption meeting. And then on May 11th is the annual budget hearing meeting. So those are important dates for the public to keep tuned in on, because I believe in one of these meetings, the last meeting, will have commentary available. And then very importantly, on May 18th, we'll have the budget vote and the Board of Ed election, which will take place on the 18th of May. So please tune in on April 8th for that next budget meeting. We are waiting for the New York State to complete their budget and hand it in on time. Fingers crossed that should occur on the 31st of March. So that April 8th meeting will be a pretty important one for us to discuss. That's it, President Morgan. Thank you.
terrific, Trustee DeLulo. Ben, thanks so much for all your hard work with that committee. I know that's a very unique time we're in right now, for sure. Thank you for all that you do there. Dave, do we have a report for Dave?
Hello, you there? No, I don't think safety met since the last one we met.
I'm sorry, you're this month. Yeah, you're meeting this
Yeah,
month.
we didn't meet this month.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So you're in this month. Okay. Very good. In the dark over there, Dave. You could light some candles.
Yeah, we're having a little blackout right now, so I'm trying to conserve power as best I can here, so my computer doesn't die on me.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. So let's. All right. So let's go over to. Okay. So we have a donation from the Austin Road Parent Teacher Organization, PTO. So what I would like to ask Senior Trustee Lucy Masafra, if she wouldn't mind. Lucy, would you be able to read the donation?
See, Masafra, I think you're muted.
Yeah, somebody muted there.
I'm
Okay.
so sorry. I'm trying to open it as we speak, so I apologize. Okay, I was able to open it.
Okay, very good. Very good.
Okay, this is the one from Austin Road PTO, correct?
Yeah, A.
Okay.
Donation.
Yep. Resolved upon the recommendation of the acting superintendent, the Board of Education hereby accepts a donation from the Austin Road PTO an amount of $244, $110 for a trampoline, and $134 to contribute towards a squeeze machine. Thank you so much, Austin Road PTO. I'm sure the children will enjoy this very much.
Squeeze machine. Okay.
Squeeze machine. Does anyone know what that is?
I believe I do. It's proprioceptive feedback for students that require that. So we're really thankful for that.
Awesome. I'm glad it'll help.
That's terrific. All right, very good. Well, thank you very much for that. So what I'd like to do now is we're going to vote on the acceptance of the donation. So can I get a motion to accept the donation from the Austin Road PTO?
So moved.
Thank you, Adams. And a second on Lucy, please. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, let's get the squeeze machine. Okay. Consent agenda items. Okay, we're going to obviously we're going to remove M. So we're going to talk afterwards on when we can we'll get a date together to discuss that because we know it's time sensitive. So what I'd like to do is
I got a quick question on that one.
sure.
Does that take a motion in a second to remove something from the agenda to table it, or I just want how does that work?
I was going to remove that motion to remove it, and then I'm gonna motion to accept the entire consent agenda. So what I'd like to do is I would like to remove pull from the consent agenda letter M. Excuse me. There's a lot. Yeah, letter M. So I'd like to move that. Can I get a motion to remove letter M?
Oh,
Thank you, Michael. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Adam. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to vote on the motion to accept accept this evening's consent agenda.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Thank you, Ray. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Larry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you very much. We have since we didn't get any, we approved the consent agenda. We didn't have anybody commenting on consent agenda items. We do have two resident comments. So what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to turn it towards our district clerk, Ms. Melody LaRocca, and Melody will introduce or will introduce our first resident comment for this evening.
Okay, that would be Mr. Jack Moda.
Okay, very good.
He's connecting now. The second resident hasn't logged in yet.
Okay.
Can you see me?
I see you, Jack.
Mr. Mongan, how are you?
I'm fine. Jack, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Mata. Jack is a 1999 graduate of Mahopac High School. So when we welcome Jack, we welcome you this evening for your resident comment. Please.
Thank you. Okay, so I asked earlier to come and speak, anticipating I wanted to make a comment after the Q&A. And I think a few of the questions were misunderstood. And that's why we asked for, a back and forth conversation so we can explain the questions a little better. So I feel that they weren't understood properly. That, try to be as nice as I can with that. So regardless of if I can explain now, maybe we can hear a response. Regarding the reopening plans, in the beginning of the year, New York State had required a full in-person, a hybrid, and a remote. And after my wife and I have gone through those plans numerous times, the only full in-person plans were high school and middle school, nothing for elementary. So you go look through them if you want, but I printed them out if you need them. There's nothing about in-person. It just says regular in-person, no in-depth. And then there was a question regarding barriers being used in like the lunchrooms. Okay, so if New York State changes the guidelines, what we were asking was if the barriers are not needed in the classrooms, can they be used in the lunchrooms? And I know, Mr. Mongan, I've talked to you. I go back to Austining because that's what I know. I have a friend who's in Austining, and he sent me a picture of what Austining's doing in their lunchrooms. So that's what we were getting at with that one. Again, if the New York State does what they have to do and change their guidelines, I understand we have to go with that. The other question regarding the buses, which I think was a little misunderstood also. My daughters were told 2 weeks ago, I want to say, that they'd be able to sit with their friends on the bus. And then the day after, they were told, never mind, you can't do that. So that's where that question was coming from. On the piggyback off of that one, if there is a case on the bus, what will be the procedure? Will that bus be then quarantined? Again, that could be a follow-up answer. And then the other question I had, I know my wife had sent out a very lengthy email with me. It took us an hour and a half to write it. I know you all saw it. And I spoke to Mr. Trombley. Thank you, Mr. Trombley, for always, a few of you have definitely been always talking to us, and I appreciate that. Open dialogue. We talked about that, right? So in the email, my wife had mentioned a different type of staggered opening where you'd have the kids coming in April 5th. Now we find out that the barriers are not coming to April 1st. So we have a little more understanding of why it's April 5th as a start, as April 8th as a start date for elementary. We didn't know that a week and a half ago. So we're still trying to figure out why you can't, if you get them in April 1st, is it still feasible to get some of these kids in sooner? And I know the big statement is that we're rushing, but I haven't been rushing since July, right? So it may seem like a rush to some people. It's not a rush to me, my family, and everyone else I'm speaking to, all right? And teachers, I've spoken to plenty of teachers. They're with us on this, okay? So that's what I have. One more question, actually, and this will be, you can follow up with this one also. If New York does change their plans to the 3 feet, and it happens during the break, are we going to look at bringing the kids back a little sooner? I guess that's all I got. So I appreciate the time tonight.
Okay. Yeah, Jack, I appreciate you coming on with this as well. And we'll obviously we'll be getting, again, we'll get some more clarity as the assistant superintendents and our acting superintendent, we'll take a look at just, I have Melody's got a detailed bullet point of what more clarity that we'll share. But listen, at the end of the day, we all want to do what's right. I think Mr. Mealy, said it right in the beginning there. And I know that we're, that we'll get to where we need to be. So thank you so much for coming on this evening, and sure that we get the clarity that you're looking for, that we talked about. So thank you very much, Jack.
Thanks,
very
Mr.
much
Mongo.
appreciated. Very
Thank
good.
you. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too, Jack. Thank you. Okay.
The next resident is Christopher Harrigan.
Okay.
Is Christopher Harrigan.
Okay. Hi, Chris. Mike Ongan, how are you?
Hi, you guys can hear me?
Yes.
How
Yes.
you doing? This is Chris Harrigan. My son is over at Austin Road. He's a 5th grader, so he'll be heading over to the middle school. Thank you guys for setting up the first orientation on the video that we attended last night. That was very informative. Oh, mine. Oh, what happened? Okay, sorry about that. Did you guys get? There was a lot of feedback there. Sorry.
We got you. We got you now,
Okay.
Chris. Go ahead.
It was feeding back. So yeah, my son is in Austin Road. He's got his last year there, going to the middle school. So again, just like Jack and I are part of a group of parents that we started asking a lot of questions just to bring up you guys up to speed. We were just kind of very, very interested in getting our kids back into school, and so we kind of joined the group, about 15 or 20 of us. And we wanted to thank you guys for doing the question and answer tonight. That was very. We hear a lot of things from other school districts that they don't take questions or they won't let us speak to the board. So we do appreciate that. basically what I sum up our group's purpose is, we believe schools are essential and not optional. We want our district to do everything they can to get the schools open and keep them open, and not just shut them down, that it's like, hey, we can just shut the school down. All right. The people in this community, they want their kids in the classroom. And that's evidenced by all the surveys and the percentage of children that want to be in school, fully in school and not remote. So we just want our school district to be on the same page with us and be in step with the community. We're just kind of, the parents are tired of hearing the negativity. It's just, I don't know if that's what it seems like to us. We hear a lot of negativity about, oh, there's numbers going up and then there's this and there's that. And what about that? We don't want to hear that. We want our kids in school. They need to be in school. They have missed one whole year. And I understand there was a lot of uncertainty in the beginning, but they're suffering and they need to be back in school with their friends and their teachers. Our group will not apologize for wanting our children to return to school and some sense of normalcy. All right, children are largely unaffected by COVID, and yet they continue to shoulder most of the hardships. All right, the parents have been extremely patient. We were patient. We're not sure who's requiring the teachers or what percentage of teachers need to be vaccinated. If the teachers union is pushing for that, we have no idea. But we've waited. Teachers have access to vaccines, and so we've been extremely patient with that. So if it seems like we're rushing things, we're simply trying to get the children back and keep them from losing any more time. All right, we want to stop them from falling further behind in their education. We have parents that need to return to the workforce, and they can't keep asking grandparents or other family members to watch their children. And be part-time teachers as well. We've done what we could. The parents have done what they could for the last year, and we need our teachers. We need our children back with the teachers. All right. There are also parents that can't continue paying for a tutor or a private learning pod. There are children that have also been sent to private schools during this time, and parents paying private school tuition that are also eager to get back into the school district as well. All right, so we're not rushing things. We feel that this reopening was long overdue. Thank you for your time.
Chris, thank you very much. Very heartfelt, and obviously, I'm glad that you enjoyed the Q&A, and we'll continue to look at ways. I know that we're, as Acting Superintendent Mealy and the rest of the cabinet talked about, if there's, when there's changes, we'll take them as we get them. But we're, the board and is certainly, along with the leadership team, is certainly committed to getting the kids back in as soon as possible. And thank you so much for coming on this evening and sharing your thoughts and your passion with us. It's much appreciated. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, nice job there. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much to two excellent resident comments, and we appreciate Chris and Jack coming on with us this evening, and again sharing their stories and the passion that they bring to to our school district and our community. It's very heartfelt, and we appreciate their time with us this evening. So what we're going to do right now, Melody, how are we doing on? Have I covered everything? I'm on my checklist over here. So, we have a little bit of housekeeping that we have to do. We'll be going into executive session. What I wanted to do is I wanted to just wish everybody, continued safety, and continue to do the right thing, and just hope and pray that things continue to go the way that they're going. The vaccines, get vaccinated, continue to do the right things, continue to, keep your hands clean and cover your face in public, and, distance when you can. And, we see all the little breakdowns now around the country. Let's not fall into that trap where, we're so close. So again, thank you again, Mahopac community, and you'll be hearing from us very shortly. So thank you again, and stay safe. So I'm going to make a motion that we're going to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters. Once voted upon, please state due to technical limitations, it will not be possible to end the meeting with a virtual public session. Please be advised that the Board of Education will take no action after the executive session other than to ask for a motion, a second to move from the executive session and adjourn the meeting, and to ask the members to vote on those motions. A record of the time the motions are made and the result of the votes taken will be made by our district clerk, Melody LaRocca, and included in the minutes of the meeting. So with that, may I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Thank you, Adam. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Larry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. Stay safe, Mahopac.